Hey, welcome back to the Book Nook. Boy, do I have a big idea. I want to write a story, the kind that imagines what the future could be like. Speculative fiction. It's a fancy name for stories that ask, what if questions? Like, what if artificial intelligence, AI, was everywhere? Helping with homework, making rules at school, even deciding what we eat for lunch. What if AI could read your thoughts and finish your sentences before you could even say them? Or what if AI decided who your friends should be? Or which games you were allowed to play? There are a lot of questions to be answered here. As I was thinking about all those what if questions when it comes to AI, I realized that would make a really cool story. I even thought about pitching it to a book agent. A book agent is a person who helps writers get their books published. You can think of them like a coach or a helper for authors. I know, I'm dreaming big. But as I started to brainstorm, I realized something. What do I actually know about AI? How does it work? What's good about it? What could go wrong? What do other people think about it? What problems might come up if people rely on it too much? I don't want to just make things up. If I want to write a story that really means something, I need to understand the real world topic first. Remember all the work we did earlier this year with informational texts? We practiced finding the main idea, pulling out supporting details, and summarizing and even synthesizing what we learned. That's exactly what I need to do now. How might reading informational texts help you write a fictional story? Pause here and jot down your thoughts. Great writers don't just imagine. They research, they explore, they ask questions, and they use different kinds of texts to shine a light on their topic. So that's what I'm going to do. Before I write my speculative fiction story, I'm going to look at the problem, AI, from a bunch of different angles. What kinds of texts do you think would help me learn as much as I can about AI from different perspectives? Pause here and write down your ideas. Here's my plan. First, I'll read some informational texts and use those amazing skills we learned and practiced together to learn more about how AI is impacting real life. I can read a book about AI in self-driving cars to learn how machines are being trained to drive safely and make quick decisions on the road. Maybe I'll read a journal article about AI robots in healthcare to find out how doctors are using them to perform surgeries or take care of patients more carefully and quickly. I might even check out a blog post about robots in the workplace to see how businesses are using them to do jobs humans used to do, and what that means for workers. These texts could actually help me understand what's actually going on with AI today. Next, I'll check out a persuasive text. That's where someone shares their opinion and tries to convince others to agree. Remember when we read and wrote opinion texts? We used clear reasons and supporting evidence to back up our points. We'll use those same skills here. I want to hear what people think about AI. Maybe someone who believes it's too risky and shouldn't be used with kids. Or someone who's really excited about how it can make life easier. Or maybe even both sides. These texts and the supporting evidence in them can help me see the debate and understand why people feel the way they do. Before we even start reading, what do you think? Should kids use AI tools like this? Pause here and write down your thoughts and explain why you feel that way. Then I'll read an expository text. That's the kind of writing that explains or teaches you something, often by breaking it into parts, showing how it works, or giving examples to make it clear. We've read, and even written, some of these before. Remember when we explained how animal adaptations help creatures survive in their environments? We used facts, details, and clear organization to make our explanations easy to understand. Now I'll use that same skill to explore how technology works. Like how an app figures out what kind of music you like just by paying attention to what you listen to over time. Or how AI can learn from patterns to make guesses. Kind of like how we get better at stuff by practicing. These texts can help me break down big ideas so I can really understand the how behind the technology. What's one part of people using AI that you have questions about? Write a question that an expository text might help us answer. Pause here and jot down your idea. I think reading all these different kinds of texts will help me understand the real-world topic better. I'll be able to ask smarter questions and maybe even come up with smarter answers. And finally, I'll come back to speculative fiction. That's when I get to let my imagination run wild. I can dream up new futures and ask big what-if questions. But this time when I brainstorm, I won't just be guessing. I'll be writing with a brain full of facts, opinions, and real explanations. That's how I'll make my story feel real, even though it will take place in a future that hasn't happened yet. And remember our work with traditional tales and fantasy? That's where we explored characters, conflict, setting, and theme, and how stories can reflect big ideas about the world and teach powerful lessons we carry with us. Now, all of those skills are coming together to help me imagine a future world and write a creative, meaningful story. You're going to do this too. You'll choose a real-world problem, something you care about, and then you'll explore it using all kinds of texts: informational, persuasive, expository, and finally, speculative fiction. Pause here and jot down a few real-world problems you might want to explore. Together, we'll shine a light on a problem and imagine what could be. Let's get curious. Let's think big. Let's bring problems to light. Are you ready? Let's go. See you next time, and until then, keep reading and working toward your goals.
Hey, hey.